So the wheel basically went from like a gentle cruise forward to full reverse underneath my feet. Hello folks, this has been a bit of a week for me, so you'll have to forgive me if this video is a little rambly, but on Monday, my Inmotion V12, I was riding it at about 25 miles an hour, and then all of a sudden I am face first into the ground, with my entire view being basically just tiny gravel. I look over after I managed to recover myself. I luckily hadn't broken anything when I went down. I was very confused about what happened. I look over. My wheel, unfortunately, is smashed. The screen is shattered here. The front plate here is completely broken, and so is the outer shell. I'm not sure what else is broken, so I'll be doing a deep dive into it. This is my helmet. And as you can see from these scratches along the side of it right here, and all along the faceplate, I basically, oh, and right here along this lip here, I basically hit the ground like this, like that, and skidded on my head. And so that was extremely unpleasant. So, first of all, I feel very fortunate. I could have been dropped going 38 miles an hour down a city street, but instead I was doing about 24 miles an hour on the tobacco trail, and it was gravel. It wasn't a hard pavement, so I feel pretty fortunate. The wheel took a whole lot of damage, which was odd to me at the time, but luckily it was still rideable. I was about 7.5 miles down the trail. I recovered myself, wheel cut on, I got on it, and managed to very carefully ride back, but I was very confused because it seemingly just fell out from under me. Like I was standing on it and then it just vanished from out from under me. Now, I've been corresponding with Jason from eWheels, who is, by the way, absolutely wonderful. If you're gonna buy a wheel, you should buy it from eWheels. Their support has been absolutely impeccable. But anyway, so I got my log submitted, and a few days later, Jason got word from Inmotion as to what happened on my wheel log. And I'm gonna throw this up on the screen for y'all, but I got it pulled up over here for me. So the wheel was cruising along, and I had started an extreme braking maneuver. It had started tilting back very, very hard, and so it tried to resist that supposed tilting, and so my readout here went from 46.3831 amps or so to minus 120 in 1/10 of a second, and then minus 240 in the next 1/10 of a second. So the wheel basically went from like a gentle cruise forward to full reverse underneath my feet. And of course, when that happens, the wheel goes from being straight to it tries to stop, but it's one wheel. So when it tries to stop, it basically just slams its own bumper as hard as it can into the ground, and then of course smash on the screen, and then it starts rolling away. Meanwhile, I just, in my normal, like, gentle riding stance, all of a sudden, I'm just tumbling. So, in a second, I'm gonna crack it open, and we're gonna see what all the damage actually it sustained from its minus 240 amp loadout, where it just slams its own face into the ground. And then, I'm gonna get up with Jason about fixing this thing, and then I'm gonna get rid of this stupid thing, because I'm definitely going to continue riding an electric unicycle, but Inmotion really needs to address why its V12s are having either unintended accelerations or the opposite, which is basically what happened to me, where it's an unintended braking. So this has happened to many people. It's even happened to Wrong Way and a number of other YouTubers, and it shakes your faith in the electric unicycle that it is not going to hold you and it's going to drop out from under you. The whole premise of this is that it's basically just a trust fall where you're falling forward, and you trust that it will catch you. And if one day it just decides to not do that properly because of an issue with software, firmware, hardware, that needs to be addressed by that company, and they need to deal with it properly. And they can't just like kind of band-aid fix it and like, here's a new board, like sucks to suck. Like, you got to do better, Inmotion. Like, we're humans out here riding these things. We're made of meat. Like, this thing can't just drop me on a whim. Like, it didn't even break. Like, see, look at this. It still self-balances. I can still technically ride this thing just like this. It's doing fine. However, that issue needs to be addressed, because it's not just like, oh, it like bugged out and stopped working. It's like, no, I rode my faceplate for, what, half a dozen feet? That's fucking crazy. Anyway, that's the end of my rant and ramble here, but like, I'll post up the picture of my logs as well, so y'all can see exactly what my wheel saw when it did this, and how it managed to go full reverse in 1/5 of a second. From when I was riding forward, it kicked in full reverse power, half reverse power in a 1/10 of a second, and then another 1/10 of a second. It went the rest of the way. So